Well, you see, I come from a long line of people connected to the land. And I've come to see in the city the importance of nurturing that connection. And I guess we all come from a long line of people connected to the land, so we could do it together.
What way is he comfortable?
Little chickie?
Is he comfortable this way? Mama?
I think so. Oh,
Sorry, Chicky.
there we go. So sweet to that chickie.
What if this was your office and someone just walked in?
I would say, hello, welcome, leave your shit at the door. What brings you here? And then I would listen.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know about you, but I am super excited to be here. It can be really powerful to connect with someone like Christine. And the moment I met her, she just opened up her soul to me. So I don't know a lot of details about her life, but what I do know is what she stands for and her bigger vision for not only herself, but for all of us here tonight, and for humanity and the world, and really making a difference and an impact and creating future transformation for people. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited that you all are here. So without delay, I'm going to have us all applaud and welcome our amazing guest of honor tonight, Christine.
Last night in conversation with Ember, who's the master of inspiration and structure. I guess we could say the mistress, but that doesn't have the same connotation, does it? Some backstory. I'm writing my book, and I have my 10 chapters, and I have been having a really hard time fitting my ideas inside of my 10 chapters. I've been dissatisfied with my chapters. So last night, the epiphany was a new structure for my book with chapters that support the poetic element of what I'm doing, and chapters that more accurately convey the message. So there I am, the Home Depot parking lot. Comes driving by in his red car with his friend, hollers out, "Nice legs!" And I'm like, livid. Get all my keys. Go walking into the spot where he parked after he's already in the store. Drag my key along that red new metal. Another sunny day 20 years later, I'm walking to Bob's Java Hut for my coffee. I got my new jeans on. I'm thinking about that hot cup of coffee and how that's gonna taste. And along comes this guy in a black sports car, and he's like, "Nice ass." And I'm like, "Hey, thanks. It's a pretty nice ass, isn't it?" Confusing, isn't it? I mean, these are confusing times. Clearly I'm confused. Are any of you confused? Yeah, hands up. Who's confused? Right? And then just before the session began, I was about to make my storyboard. So take my notepads and put my stories on it, and then I'm gonna put them probably on the wall so that I know that my stories support the messages of my book. And maybe for you, it's more serious than this. Maybe lewd comments and comments on your sexiness land instead for you like threats. Because maybe you're someone who's been hurt.
Maybe you've been groped on a bus, maybe you've been forced to have sex to keep your job, or maybe you, like me, have been raped. These are tough times. Not only have men and women not yet really gotten used to sharing spaces together, but we're also having frank conversations about things like this for the first time ever.
Sam was a year old, a little over a year old. So I was 29 and a half. And a yoga instructor, all dressed in white. She's a Kundalini yoga instructor, right? Her name then was Charlotte Marie. Now she goes by Vima Limera or something. She shows up at my doorstep and asks if she can do yoga in the garden. And of course you can have yoga classes in the garden. Can I come? Sure. What about my kid? He can just hang out and play. So I sit and I'm doing yoga and he's plopping on my lap and then he's running around and nursing a little and running around. And that yoga was like the hardest thing I've ever done. And that yoga instructor was great. She wasn't soft, like, oh, if it's uncomfortable, just take a break, you know, like, she's like, no, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, keep it going, keep it going. And I every time I do certain things, I would just weep and sob. Like, to lie on my back was like, in some animal way, that's just not what I was willing to do. Like, my whole being was like, don't lie down, don't lie down, don't lie down, you know? But I did it. And doing the breathing and shedding the tears, you know, and just like letting it move through my body with the energy of the earth.
We want to raise our children in a world that's safe for them to be in. So if we all want the same thing, why are we on opposite teams? Well, my book, Beyond #Metoo, Men Are Not the Problem, is about exactly that. I'm here to say that it can be done. We can heal this thing. We can be fully self-expressed, even about sex and intimacy, and still honor everyone involved. We can learn how to do that. I know that it can be done because I've done it, and I've even developed a process that I can help you do it too. And it's through writing.
After my morning writing, which usually ends when Violet wakes up, we feed everyone. We feed the animals, and we could probably do that now because they haven't been fed yet. Almost everything about the way conversations happen in the world, Blue, sit, you need to sit, has to do with sit. I know I'm having to wait. Sit. Stay. A lot of it has to do with authority. And hi, Sam.
I'm going to Dad's, right?
Okay, have fun. Say hello. Tell him hello.
Alright.
In our relationship with authority, and if you'll notice, there's a crisis in our relationship with authority, and we're upset about the violations of power and authority, and this is all legitimate, of course we are. I know that, and I get that. But what's happening is we're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And how this shows up around dogs is you'll see people are afraid, people are afraid to tell dogs and children no. People are afraid to be authorities and dominate their realm.
How are you going to heal the world?
Mostly healing myself. If I'm not leading the ship, then who knows where it's going to go. Bluey's off chasing a squirrel, the kids are eating sugar, the cats are screwing in the street, making more cats. I don't know, whatever. This one's pregnant. She just showed up in our basement. She wasn't pregnant then, but she got pregnant very short after.
So, in those two situations, the one with the keyed car, remember I told you I keyed like guy's car. That wasn't easy for me to tell you guys. All right. I'm not violent. Other than that, you should know this. I kind of assume that you already know that, but some of you don't know me that well. So between that day, keying the guy's car, and this other situation where I had a boost in self-esteem because of a shout-out, what's the difference? The difference between the two situations is desire. In that situation, I didn't want the attention. In this situation, I did. How is the poor guy in the car supposed to have known that? How was I supposed to communicate that?
I really can't stay, baby, it's cold outside. I got to go away, baby, it's cold outside.
Are we dancing?
I wish I knew how.
Anytime, honey.
Really? You look so good. I got to say no.
Desire is what makes all the difference. Desire is what makes the difference between lovemaking and rape. What makes the difference between flirty fun and sexual harassment? Desire is what makes the difference. But again, how's anyone supposed to know that? How are we supposed to communicate about that? Right? Solving the problem of sexual violence is not about stigmatizing men and masculinity and labeling them as the enemy. Solving the problem of sexual violence, in my opinion, is about learning to have deep, honest conversations about desire and consent.
Thank God you're here. She had cerebral palsy, and the story is the doctors say that her level of mental development was about 6 months or something. I don't know how they knew though, because my sense of it was a communication issue. Because we needed you. I don't know if I'm telling this story very consecutively, but that was, Lynn had died, and I was born. That was the part Mike told me, my brother Mike. He said that, this is so sweet, oh my gosh, he said that when I was born it was like, everything was just wilting, everything was just dying around. And then that I was like this breath of life that just rolled over it all and brought it back to life. These are the kinds of things that that man said, you know? My goodness. Wow.
The lack of memory is what I'm talking about with the fog. Descending like 1,000 black butterflies whose wings gently pressed apart my senses, sounds falling off from sights, words flip-flopping like dying fish, sensations peeling like broken eggshells from rubbery white emotions. It was the densest fog, but blackened memories hitchhike on the back of each exhale. It was the densest fog, but mercy has a strong backhand and my breath will always smell of rape. And if I fail to exhale, if I hold tight to my breath away, I've learned to keep away that smell. It pulls itself at my throat's base and spins darkness there. Black stitches to fasten down my thick and telling tongue. I wake up in the wee hours next day and I'm in the shower of a hotel room. I'm naked and two men I don't know are trying to put my bra on me. There are other men standing and sitting all around the room. The next journal entry is from the boat taxi station 2 days later in Belize City. There I was, drugged, raped, confused, and far from home. So what did I do? After that darkness, what did I do? I pick up my pen and I write. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. Over and over on that page.
would you like to say to your inner child?
Well, mostly just, it's awesome, so have fun. You know what I mean? Like, you get through it all okay. Isn't that mostly all children need to hear?
They are very sweet. I really love these kittens. Whenever the kittens meow, sweeties meow. That means they are talking to each other.
What is it man takes when he rapes? The same thing he takes when he pisses on her myths, the stories of the goddess. I'm saying this. There's something sacred and essential at the very core of woman. It's an essence of God that is there in her sex. Never heard anyone talk like this before? There's a reason. From a woman has come every man. Through a woman came Jesus. Through a woman came God. You see? The patriarchy is but a wisp of illusion over the obvious truth of this. There's nobody making you see God as male. It's you who do that. You.
Little babies need lots of food and water, and sleep and nurse. Babies need so much thing. 5 babies. We can keep them so long. They are even gonna be with me on my birthday.
The masculine principle is cause in the matter of creation. The feminine is container receiving force. This is not a put down, but merely a way of expressing the dynamic, creative tension between form and formless, male and female, black and white. All contrast is required for meaning and for creation. It is love that crosses the vortex of desire through contrast into the eternal center that is the portal of new life.
I love you so much! And sweetie, and Santa and Friday! What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I think you're ready for bed.
I'm not.
You seem tired.
I'm not. I'm really not.
I treasure every moment with you. You know that, Violet?
You are so beautiful to me.
Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need.
Buck, buck, crap.
Beautiful.
What did you laughing about?
To me.
What are you laughing at?
Can't you see? Oh my
There's
goodness.
5 kittens.
Everything I
Look.
You are so beautiful. I could wear my... I think the kitties want you to be quieter.
I don't think they want me to be quiet.
They do, because they only have tiny little ears and they like it to be dark and warm and quiet.
It's not dog.
Let's turn the lights down. Let's go to the other room.
No.
Closer to the B-E-D. Do you know what that is?
Huh.
B-B-E-D.
What does that mean?
Bed.
No.
Yeah.
No. 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 No.
We program the babies through the womb waters and generate for them a blueprint for it to manifest on earth in time. All this happens through the balanced tension of divine masculine and divine feminine, man and woman. You can see that a breakdown in this balance is really quite significant. Why am I saying this? What does it matter? At its core, it's about access to the earth. What is the renewable resource of humans? Not the forests, not the water, not the earth. I'm talking about birth. Babies. Birth is the resource that continually renews the human. It's through birth that any conscious society is created. If humans were to wake up from trance, we'd readily see this, for it's obvious. You are being trained for female to hate the feminine, and male to hate the masculine. It is truly manufactured conflict run so deep it has the capacity to alienate humans from their very creative power. Coincidentally, this is at a time when man and machine are melding with startling effectiveness and precision. I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
The people come in and are healed. Sweat lodge, whatever they need. The healers come from where they come from, yeah? And like that. And then as they become well, they receive tools and community network to launch their success. Right? Simple. And the reason it's going to work is because nature wants it. You know? That's what the pine tree says.